Welcome to Monday Morning Live with myself and Azra. It is currently 5 past 5 a.m. And it's fairly warm, 10-11 degrees this morning, I think it is. In fact, sorry, no, it's saying 12 now. Just bear with, guys, because we've got a car coming the other way, so I just need to make sure Azra doesn't do anything crazy, and then we'll be straight back. So yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, so it's now 12 degrees and it feels quite pleasant this morning. What I will say is we had a lot of rain yesterday evening into the night. It was absolutely pouring for quite a while, so I'm 50-50 whether I'm going to go over the fields with her this morning, or whether we just wrap our way back round the village using the normal paths, but I'll think about it as we go into the walk. So, what is everybody up to today? Is it a normal work day, leisure day, nothing day, school day? Are you on holiday? Are you going on holiday? What time is it where you are? All my normal administrative questions that we like to ask straight out of the blocks. And we've got a cat crossing the road up there. Again, I don't know whether the camera brings it out, but I can see its eyes. And I'm sure Azra will take note of it as we get closer as well. So obviously, in the UK, this is Morning Breakfast Club, where we are. So, as I say, you tell me what you want to discuss. We'll have a chat. I was looking forward to having a nice chat about sport this morning, but I'm devoid of any interest the way Liverpool are playing at the minute. It is quite tough, quite a tough watch at the minute. It really is, and it's a rut they need to get themselves out of quick if they are to stay in this championship fight as soon, for the season. And the only good news was yesterday, sport-wise, was Lando managed to reel in some points on Oscar in the Formula One, and that was good. Certainly from the British point of view, anyway. I know I do have a lot of people watching from the Southern Hemisphere who might be Oscar fans. But yeah, you'll understand why I'm pro-Lando. If you are new to the channel, do make sure you like and subscribe. We've had a really, really good week again last week. I always set my target for my little channel of 10 subscribers a week. We got 17 last week, so that was fantastic. Long may that continue. As I've already said, this is a nice short week for us, work-wise. I'm only until Wednesday, and then Euro Disney, here we come. Really, really excited for that. I think I've discussed this before with people, but I hear a lot of it in a lot of vlogs that I watch. And go on, Azra, lead on. Good girl. A lot of vlogs that I watch. As an adult, do you still get excited about going to Disney? And you know what? It's a tough one, actually, because I'm excited about going away. Am I excited because it's Disney? I'm wondering whether once we get there... Come on, Azra. Once we get there, whether I'll sort of maybe think a bit differently to that. But I'm more excited because of the rides than obviously Disney, if I'm honest with you. But I do think you can't not be sort of wrapped up in that wave of Disney magic when you get there. I do agree with that, no doubt. And the reason I ask this question is because myself, Julia and James are going to Orlando in a couple of years' time, and none of us are that bothered about going to Disney. Yes, Universal, yes, sort of Kennedy and obviously SeaWorld, but none of us are that bothered about Disney, and it's a lot of money to not be bothered whether you go there or not. On top of that, you've got the park, the charging for going to the parks and stuff like that. And that's what I sort of say. There's a lot of magic that's been sort of ripped the backside out of. And not just Disney, but Universal as well, because they charge as well, by the way. It isn't just Disney. But little things like that, unless you're an annual card holder, you have to swallow this. And I think it's about $35, $40 a day. So it's a lot of money. Anyway, so what do people think? Does it matter how old you are? Do you still get excited about Disney? Answers on a postcard or in the chat box. Anyway, so we will be going up to London on Thursday, and we are staying up in London and getting an early train out of St Pancras on Friday morning, hence why we're going up on Thursday, because there's no trains from where we are early enough to get us up there. So yeah, that was a bit more expense and to sort of stay over, but that's life. It sort of makes the holiday start a bit early, doesn't it? To be honest. Come on, Azra. Good girl. As I said before, if you are new to this channel, do make sure you like and subscribe. It certainly does mean a lot to the channel. Small channels only exist because of people like yourselves tuning in, watching. So if you can like and subscribe, hit the old bell. Really does mean a lot. Little channels become big channels, just like Tesco's was once small, and look at it now. So if you can help, just hit the old subscribe. Really mean a lot to the channel. So if you've been with me before, you'll know we're going to continue to the end of this road. Now, because of the conditions overnight, what I think I'm going to do when we get to the end of this road is we're going to do a left, and then we're going to go up and round and then follow the high street all the way back. So it is going to be a slightly new walk for, I would say, most of you. I don't think I've ever done a live on this little bit. So we will we'll probably do that, and this is just literally to avoid her getting absolutely soaked over the fields, which I can ill do without, to be honest with you. They absolutely love going into the dog sitters, so that's happening on Thursday morning. Because whether they go in at 8 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock at night, you still get charged for the day, which I find absolutely ludicrous, to be honest with you. But I said to Julie, right, well, if they're going to charge us for the whole day, then they go in early on Thursday. That frees us up, then we can leave whatever time we want. And come on, Azra, lead on. Yeah, we can please ourselves, so Julie and myself are taking them in on Thursday morning, and then that'll be them done and dusted. Come on, Azra. She's having one of those mornings this morning, guys, where there's a lot of sniffy. Oh dear. So again, if you haven't been with me before, oh right, now she's going to the loo, so you're just going to have to bear with me, guys. Just wait for her to finish, clear that up, And then we'll have to try and find a bin in due course. Just give me a second, guys. As soon as she's finished, there she is. Right, just wait for a moment. Clear up. Wait. Azra, sit. Sit. Good girl. There we go. Right, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. Azra is a lot lighter. And as I said, I've just got to try and find a bin. I'm not even sure there is a bin much before we get down to the high street, so just going to have to sit tight with that. Oh dear. As I said earlier, it's very, very tropical this morning, about 11-12 degrees. Not ideal for the tortoises. We put them into hibernation yesterday. Oh, there is a bin here, that's handy. That's handy. Come on, Azra. Yeah, we put the tortoises into hibernation yesterday. Saturday, in fact. I didn't hear much noise from them yesterday at all, which was good. Just have to sort of keep checking on them periodically this week, because, as I say, normally it's about 2 weeks further before you sort of put them into hibernation, and it would have been ideal from that point of view because it had been a lot colder by then, but we've been forced to do this because obviously going away at the end of the week, and we can't risk them having to stay out at night if it goes below 10 degrees. So yeah, swings and roundabouts. So Mum will be going in checking on the cat each day, but obviously you can't expect her to go in morning and night, and then all the lifting of the runs and everything else is just too much. So I'm sure the tortoises, once they're obviously wrapped up in their boxes and obviously curled up in the newspaper that you put in, they'll be sound asleep and enjoying the rest. They weren't interested anyway, to be honest with you. They hadn't eaten, or the two big ones hadn't really eaten for a while. The small one, the new one, the young one, Julie was saying he's only going to be in hibernation till sort of near Christmas, and then he's going to wake up, because it's his first year of hibernating, so he's not supposed to hibernate for as long as the others. So we'll see how we go. Anyway, so this is clearly the new bit of the stroll, and I've no idea what the light is going to be like when we make a turn in a minute into what's called Back Lane, which is the back end of the village, depending on which way you're looking, hence the name of the road. It would be more useful if Azra actually kept up. Come on. Lead on, come on. But then you can see exactly where we're going with her light as well as my own. And this is uphill now, guys, hence you might be able to hear me breathing quite heavily. It is now all uphill. Okay, so we're going to go down here, which, as I said, Azra, come on, is Back Lane, hence the sign. And we are going to continue this way. As I say, the lighting up here is not as great. As I say, Azra is very, very sniffy this morning. Come on, Azra. Now, the only thing about walking along here is that I might make a slight detour to the right here is there's no pavement along here. And we'll keep going. We've got lights on, we'll be alright. But I could have gone right down there, to be fair, guys. That would have sort of cut the corner off, and I want to make sure we both get our exercise in this morning. That's the industrial estate in there. Come on, Azra. Good girl. I think we'd be very unlucky if we get a car up here. Although people do start at those factories early. Lots of movement from the birds around us. If you are new to the channel, do make sure you like and subscribe. As I said yesterday, well, I said it this morning as well, actually. We've been talking about it in some detail, actually. We are off to Disneyland on Thursday, and we are very much looking forward to that. So the plan will be, delays permitting, is on Friday once we arrive. We will be going straight into Hollywood Studios. Now, I know it's not actually called that now, is it? But for us old timers, Hollywood Studios will do. And we're going to try and get some of the big rides done there early doors. And we've got a car coming behind. Azra, keep in. Keep in. We're going to try and get some of the big rides done early doors. And when I say that, I think the three sort of biggies there. Go on. The three biggies are Hollywood Studios, for goodness sake, Tower of Terror, Crush's Coaster, and the Marvel roller coasters, what used to be the Aerosmith ride. So they're the big three that we want to achieve on Friday when we get there. We've got a meal booked at Pim's Kitchen as well. So again, I've heard very good things about that. So looking forward to that. And then we're going to see how we go, because I wanted to book the fireworks and the special viewing for the fireworks. Literally from the first day that we could book it, it was already booked out. So I don't know whether they have annual pass holders that are allowed to do it before the normal public. I mean, we're staying on site, so the 7 days apparently is the first time that we can do, and I don't know if there's anything else we could have done. But yeah, we're not able to book it. I've been checking every day, and there's just nothing out there, so very annoying, but that's life. And then someone was sort of saying, you know, once you've done it once, you need to do it again, and they've got a valid point. So I'm going to see what the sort of general consensus is. If we can get the fireworks perhaps on the Friday evening, weather permitting, and we can get a good view, and when I say good view, somewhere on Main Street, because the new light show is on Main Street as well as down towards the castle, then maybe it's not so critical when we have got the full day on the Saturday there to sort of try and queue up, because I think the Saturday will probably be busier than the Friday somehow. So yeah, it's a difficult one, knowing exactly what's best to do. But I think between myself and Julia, and James to a degree, but between myself and Julia, we've got enough brain cells to work out what's going to work best for us. But we'll have a nice meal in Pim's Kitchen. That'll probably take us up to about, I don't know, 7, half 7. And then we can sort of have maybe a mosey into the other park, depending on what we've done, and then we can decide. No, I'm not going to give it away because if people are watching, I don't want loads of people knowing this the spot that we've been told to go to. But there is a spot that we've been told to go to. And I'm sure a lot of people know about it as well, but I'm just not going to say it. Maybe that's going to give us a good view without having to worry about the crowds. But I don't think we'll see the light show, so that's why I say if we can get it on the Friday, then on the Saturday maybe we can go to this secret place and see what's what. But as I say, guys, it is very much doing things on the fly. You know how I am for planning. Well, I've planned what parks to go to and when, apart from Sunday, because Sunday's going to be a bit of a bonus day, I think. Hopefully, do what we want to do on Sunday. But I did think the main park deserved the full day's treatment. Hollywood Studios, I say, we can probably get round on Friday and then the Sunday if we need to go back in. But let's wait and see. I think that's the best thing for it. I have noticed that the numbers this morning have been fluctuating quite high in places, and then like now, not a lot going on. There's someone else comes on, very nice. Welcome to the channel, good morning. It is the live stroll with myself and Azra. We are heading into the village centre. We've come in from a slightly different way this time to avoid having to go over the fields and get completely soaked this morning after all the rain we had yesterday. And by doing this, we're still going to get a normal mileage in that we normally do, which is good. Might even be further, to be fair. I haven't even looked at the time as to how long we've been. What we're going, 22 minutes. Right, well, we'll keep going until we get to the village centre. Depending how many people we've got then, we might call this one a day. And just see how we're going when we get there. Let's say if you have not been with us before, this is the high road in the village. And we are literally going to be going, I would say, 3/4 of the length of it this morning. The way we're going. And also by doing this, we're using the street lights. There's a little bit of artificial light as well. Azra, here we go. In a minute, you'll probably recognise, if you've been with me before, where we are and where we're going to come out. It's a bit further, to be fair. But everything in the village really is sort of intertwined. You'll get to the centre from most directions, and if you go further out and then back in, you always end up at the same place, which is quite nice from the point of view. There is a point A, I suppose, and you always get back to point A one way or the other, whether you go B, C, D, E and so on. I just don't usually do this particular walk during the week, purely and simply because I don't need to, but because of the weather overnight, just decided that's what we're going to do. So, but very shortly, again, you probably can't see it yet, but there is right in the distance there's 2 street lights, and that's normally where we come out when we do our normal stroll. So we've done a lot more this morning, sort of around the outside of the village, to avoid having to go over the fields. And this was something once the weather does start getting worse and worse, and the fields become boggier and boggier, this was something I was seriously thinking about doing, because while she's not going to stay completely dry, she's not going to get soaked, and she can still do everything she wants to do. So this is where we normally come from, guys. Water Lane. There are some funny names in the village, but that's where we normally come from, up there. Come on, Azra. And then normally we cross over onto the other side and go around Dolphin Lane. But we're not going to do that this morning. We're going to stay on this side all the way now, unless there's any shops opening up where we have to cross because of lorries and vans and what have you. But as I say, if it remains quiet, we'll probably call it a day when we get to the village centre, to be honest. And then we'll have 3 more live strolls before we go to Disneyland on holiday. So tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, will be it then, until we are back. Well, the next live stroll with her will be Tuesday. Because again, you get charged a full day whether they're in there till 8 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock at night. So what's the point picking them up early on the Monday? We'll just leave them in there. Allows me to get jobs done on Monday. I already know I've got a very expensive dentist appointment on Monday, so that immediately fills me with dread, although I know what it's going to be, so there's no dread, is there? It's just the dread of going to the dentist. Come on, good girl. I was just looking at some of these. This is a leasing agency, and some of these prices scare the living daylights out of me. They really do. Like £1,200 there a month. All right, maybe not so bad. Cambridge there, 3,250. Somewhere in Melbourne, £1,500. It's just, I don't know how people afford this rent. I don't know how people get in the property ladder, to be honest with you. This is a new pub. I say new pub, it's been here years. It's just been renovated. Can we have a cheeky look through there? It's not very good with the windows as they are. But Julie and I really do need to perhaps go there, and I was maybe thinking about going for lunch on Thursday as I'm off. So maybe that's something I'll suggest to Julia and Mum. I don't know. I think it's wise that Mum does come round to ours on that Thursday just to have a quick look at what we're going to do with Minnie and what have you. So we keep everything downstairs, so Mum doesn't have to go upstairs. My exercise ring is closed, so that's good. So everything now on my boat is a bonus. I really do need to probably extend that exercise ring, I think, because now I'm doing these longer walks in the mornings. My exercise is done before I even get home, and I'm fairly active during the day at work, to be fair. You never sit still for long. And these next 3 days will just be, I've already done a lot of preparation for whilst I'm off anyway, but these next few days will just be preparation for whilst I'm off work, be it that it's only 3 days I'm off. I just like to make sure they know what's going on, so there's no problems. It was worse when I was off for 2 weeks. Obviously I did all the prep to help them out. Just bear with, guys. There we go. Right. Yeah, I did all the prep before I went away, and there's a few bits and pieces sort of booked into the holiday that I had to make sure they either knew they had to order parts or get the parts and stuff like that. I just like to make sure before I go away that everything's always organised. Perhaps that's the main dealer in me. People driving far too fast through the village. Crazy speed. Absolutely crazy. So what he's done is he's come off the A10 and he's probably going to the industrial estate, to the villages. Not to the, from the A10 to the industrial estate. Driving like that, I would suggest. And he's possibly late for work as well, perhaps. Who knows? Right. Barber shop here. Nail bar. Another barber shop here. This one's been here years. The first one I just showed you has fluctuated ownership, but it has been there for a while now. Then we've got the local pharmacy, and then a co-op. So as I said, we are staying on this side today. If you've been with me before, you will know we have sort of crossed over to the other side, but we don't need to do that this morning. Come on, Azra. Good girl. Then we've got the War Memorial, local butcher, War Memorial and church over the back there. We've missed the half-hour chime, but we've heard that before when we've been out together, so yeah, we've nothing more to see there really. This place on the right-hand side, something is going on in there. Don't know what, no idea, haven't heard. But they certainly cleared out a lot of the stuff that was in there from the previous place. Whatever goes in there, hopefully it's a success for them, because it didn't last very long the last place. So it'll be interesting to know what they're going to do. Problem is, with a place like that, they opened it up as a little cafe. Now there's not the demand here in the village, and it wasn't that big. So unless you got in there early or were just lucky, you would go to the hub, because it was far bigger and far more spacious and more places to sit. So it was always onto a bit of a hide into nothing, to be honest with you. Unfortunately, that's why I say hopefully the next place will be more successful in whatever they do. I see that car every morning. So this is the Premier. Doesn't open, I don't think, until it's 6 o'clock, I think. But quite often there is a van waiting outside there. Now again, if you've been with me before, that is where we normally go if we're doing a certain walk, and that takes us up towards the fields as well. Again, we are not doing that this morning because of how wet it is. As you can see from these puddles, we did have quite a lot of rain yesterday. But what we will do, we're going to go this way through the car park and get ourselves off the main road. Go on, Azra. Good girl. She's got the shakes this morning, bless her. Thank you for the like, do appreciate that. And what have we now? Just gone over half now. Right guys, I think we're going to call this one a day. Thank you very much for tuning in this morning. I'm going to give her a bit of an ear massage, I think, in a minute. See if she's all right. And we will reconvene tomorrow. Thanks guys.